At the latest Toronto Downtown Jazz Festival, Manteca gave notice that it's back in business, playing concerts in support of a new album called Onward. It's been nearly a decade since the renowned nine-piece Toronto band, which was founded in 1979, called it quits with a farewell concert in October of 1998. As the band's co-leader and percussionist Matt Zimbel makes clear, the breakup had nothing to do with the usual drug problems or artistic differences.
We played for 18 years, and we did 8 records, and we toured all over the world and did some amazing dates with Miles Davis and Weather Report, and did all kinds of things all over the place, and it was pretty thrilling. And then we just got to the point where, you know, we were touring with 9 musicians and 3 technicians, and touring all over the place, and it was just costing so much money. It was just, we couldn't get grants fast enough.
Zimbel decided it might be time to reform the band during a visit to Halifax for the 2006 Juno Awards.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
People from the industry were coming up to me and saying, like, I remember that band, you know, it was the best rock show in Toronto, even though it wasn't a rock show, you know, because they liked the fact that we put a lot of energy into the stage show and lighting and design and all that stuff. And so I came back to the band in Toronto, and I said, look, we have $300 left in the bank. It's been sitting there for 10 years. The Royal Bank takes $5 out every month, you know, but that's all we have left. Let's go drink that money and get together for a beer and decide if we want to do another record. And that's what we did.
1, 2, 3.
You launch an old band anew these days. New website, EPK, new stage design, new photos. It's a pretty major undertaking.
As you'll notice
new
when
haircuts,
you watch
yes.
some of the old footage.
The woman who runs our office suggested that we should really get mullet wigs. You know, what is it? Mullet's like business in the front, business in the front, party in the back.
Henry Heilig is bassist and co-leader of Manteca.
Coming back in, we said, all right, well, we know that keeping a band like this going for 10 years is an enormous undertaking. Let's see what it feels like to do a record and to support that record and see how far Onward can take us.
Getting back together again has been incredibly reinvigorating. So many people in the band have done wonderful, interesting projects. Henry's got his own band called Heilig Maneuver. They've done 2 records, one of which has been really, really successful.
And I've been working as a freelance bass player a lot more since Manteca was so high profile that it actually made it difficult to work with other people at times. And the wealth of experience that I've had, and I know people like Charlie who's been playing with the Guess Who and the Rankins and all over, and Art's been playing with Jesse Cook. And we bring these things back and we come in sort of individually elevated in a way that starts the whole band off already on a level that it took us many years to establish the first time.
When we started doing the record, we worked on one particular tune, we ran it down 3 times, and then we did our first take. And on the first take, it was balls to the wall, basically. And Charlie Cooley screamed at the end of the take, "It's just been sitting there for 12 years waiting to get out!"
The reunited Manteca has changed musical direction somewhat. There's less emphasis now on the Latin ingredients that dominated the band its first time around and provided its name.
Manteca's name came originally from one of the first salsa tunes to be introduced to the jazz world. That was by Dizzy Gillespie and Chano Pozo.
We started playing salsa and samba because it was the music that we loved. And it was quite rare at the time. In 1979, in Toronto anyway, in Canada, there was not a lot of samba, there was not a lot of salsa, and this was music that we greatly admired. So coming back in 2007, salsa, samba, there's a lot of great people playing that music in Canada.
Very well represented.
Very well represented. In the US as well. We didn't feel like we needed to make a statement on that. The show has always been a real point of joy. We've toured a lot, and so for us the show is really where it all starts. When we're picking material for the record, We think, okay, how is this going to fit into a show? What purpose is it going to have in a show? Is it going to excite people? Is it going to be a moment of introspection? When you're on stage in that band, surrounded by your 9 compatriots or your 8 compatriots, when everybody hits a shot at one time and it is exactly precise, and you can hear the air on either side of it, it's just so invigorating.
The question is, given that the economics of keeping a large band going are no easier now than they were 10 years ago, how long will Manteca stay together this time?
Realistically, at a minimum, with this record coming out now, we should be touring extensively through the touring season next year. So in that sense, this is kind of a minimum goal anyway, and if it feels good, and I suspect we will be able to extend it, but that would be, this is a project. Let's take a record and work a record for the cycle that happens, and if that feels good, then by golly, maybe we'll do it again.